Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I thought I would also start a YouTube channel because TikTok only lets you have a limit of 10 minutes, which I find so annoying because I want to talk about all these theories I have, but 10 minutes just isn't enough time. And I don't want my YouTube videos to be 30 minutes long, but at least 15 to 20. I mean, that's not a bad idea. So I'm coming from TikTok onto YouTube now. So in this video, as you saw by the title, I want to talk about our forgotten worlds, or the myths and theories behind Atlantis, Lemuria, Tartaria, and Agartha. And I bet a lot of you haven't heard of Agartha. And to be honest, I've never heard of Tartaria. I've heard of Lemuria like a little bit in New Age lore. I kind of heard about Agartha with the inner civilization theories, but I've never heard of Tartaria. Never. I've just recently learned about it. I've known about it for maybe 3 weeks. So, anyway, first I want to talk about Atlantis. That one is my favorite forgotten world. Out of all of them, it is Atlantis. Because when I tell you, I've known what Atlantis was since I was 10 years old. I remember just sitting in my grandpa's den. Or no, I wasn't sitting. I was drawing or doing something with my dolls because I was like 10. And so I walk into the living room and I see my grandpa watching Ancient Aliens. At the time, I didn't know that was what the show was called, but I just see something playing on the TV and they're talking about some lost civilization called Atlantis. I immediately go tell my sister and I'm like, hey, Atlantis is, I think it was real. And she goes, no, it wasn't. And we just get into this bickering argument for like 5 minutes, back and forth about it being real and it not being real. So, yeah, and then I kind of stopped believing at age 15, but then I started believing in it again. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Let's just get into the video. The video, I'll put a timestamp in the comments. It actually starts at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, let's go. Alright, so first, I'm gonna look off my notes here because I don't remember everything, so I apologize if I'm like looking this way sometimes. I apologize for that. So, I've already talked about Atlantis on my TikTok video, but I'm gonna go into a little more detail about it here. Like, I'm gonna combine all of them: Atlantis, Tartaria, Lemuria, and Agartha, okay? Alright, so, what was Atlantis and where did it come from? By the way, this is all off my notes. I have linked in my bio on my TikTok, so if you just want to read that and don't want to watch this video, just go read that. But anyways, I'm thinking about writing a book. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Okay. Lastly, is there evidence for this supposed lost civilization of Atlantis? And by the way, these are just theories, disclaimer. I'm not saying this was real. It was most likely a myth. I just find it interesting because there's some evidence about some of this stuff being found. But anyway, okay, so according to scholars, Atlantis was first written in a book by Plato from the year 360 BC. So, Atlantis, I believe, was an advanced utopian civilization that achieved harmony and potentially free energy. They also had very advanced technology, but it was more energetic technology. It wasn't like the smartphones we have today. We have physical technology. They had energetic technology, So Plato believed Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which is what we call the Strait of Gibraltar. Sorry, I can't pronounce everything. Which is in the Atlantic Ocean now. Allegedly, right? So some theories, I'm going to give some evidence based on some research these people have done now from my notes, okay? So, some theories point to the Atlantic Ridge. It's an underwater mountain range running the entire length of the Atlantic Ocean. So researchers usually describe this as the sunken remains of the Atlantean continent. You know, everyone's always arguing, where was Atlantis? Was it here? Was it there? And I have a theory, but hold on. Okay, so this guy named Graham Hancock and some other researchers connect Antarctica's ice-covered landmass to Atlantis, which points toward the Pin Race map drawn in 1513 that depicted Antarctica's coastline without ice, which was actually centuries before its official discovery. So Cadiz, did I say that right? In Spain is actually the most recent archaeological research. So this actually happened last July of 2025. An archaeologist named Michael Dolin claims to have found evidence of Atlantis in Spain, Cadiz. Or Cadiz, I don't know. He states, quote, he found submerged structures off the coast of Spain, which correspond closely with the descriptions given by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. An article is by jpost.com. I'll link them in the description. So he also quoted in this article, we discovered long linear structures intersecting on the seabed, according to the same article, jpost.com. So I found that really interesting that this guy claimed to find evidence of Atlantis within this ocean in Spain. Like, that's just very interesting. Like, I'm not saying it's real, but it's just interesting that people are making these correlations to what's in the ocean and what was in Atlantis. I find that very, very fascinating. Alright, so another psychic, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him, but he was named Edgar Cayce. He was sometimes known as the Sleeping Prophet. He predicted the runes would resurface near Bimi in the Bahamas. So Edgar Cayce, yeah, I already said that. The Bahimi Road was discovered in 1968. It showed exactly what Edgar Cayce predicted. Crazy. But I don't think it's that crazy. Our world functions on frequency, vibration, and energy. Tesla told us, right? Everything is energetic at its foundation, at its quantum level. Every object vibrates with frequency, I believe. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Alright, so some other researchers now place Atlantis near Santorini in Greece. They connect it to the Minoan civilization, which was destroyed by the volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. Alright, so now let's go back to Plato. He was a very philosophical writer, as most of us know. He was one of the greatest of his time, I think. Many people agree his writing and geographical information about Atlantis was just way too vivid to be fictional, which I kind of agree with. But most people and scientists are still skeptical because they need evidence that Atlantis existed. I'm going to talk about this now. This is very controversial, but take it with a grain of salt, okay? Some of these researchers have evidence, but it will never be enough for so-called mainstream media, okay? You know why? Because the mainstream doesn't like evidence, allegedly, that doesn't fit their narrative. But this is just speculation, okay? This isn't facts. So, my theory is, I think they will continue to subconsciously, maybe it's not even on purpose, you know, it could just be subconsciously suppress the truth and believe the lies. You know, it doesn't matter how much proof you find of Atlantis, they're always going to say, oh, that's not Atlantis, that's just the ocean structure, because their subconscious has filtered out the truth, right? Allegedly. And this goes for anything, not just Atlantis. So again, it's easier to believe in a lie than admit to a lie you've been told your entire life. There's so much truth to that. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. Getting off topic again. So, okay, now this is where I want to insert my theory about Atlantis and take it a step further. Okay, this is a pretty bold claim, but I believe Atlantis was a one-world global civilization. Yeah, let that sink in. It spanned, in my theory, the entire globe. Yeah, bold claim. I know. But I believe this because there's evidence for it everywhere. Many biblical and ancient texts talk about a flood that took place 11,800 years ago. Okay? So, you know, so many people are asking, where was Atlantis? Where was it? Was it in Antarctica? Was it in the US? Was it in the Bahamas? Was it in Spain? But what if it was everywhere, right? What if it was this global civilization and they had like factions within the Atlantean global civilization, okay? What if they operated simultaneously, like I said, across every continent, and they had advanced technology with spiritual development and free energy, allegedly, right? And another thing I will say, how did every ancient structure like share so many things in common, right? Like, they had the same architecture and symbolism, and they were separated by continents that were miles apart, and they share all these similarities. You can't tell me that was just a coincidence, unless they were all psychically communicating, which they were, but I don't really believe that. This is why I kind of believe in my theory. But guys, just think about it, okay? The pyramids on every continent were built with such extreme precision that we can't even replicate it to this day. Also, how do you explain the flood myths across every culture and religious text, right? Like, and also the underground tunnel networks that appear across Egypt, Europe, South America, I got that wrong, I apologize, and Turkey. Was all a coincidence? In my theory, I don't think so. Bold claim, I know. But there's no other explanation, in my opinion, on how everything appeared to be similar across lands separated from each other. Oh, that was just a coincidence. Okay, maybe if it was 2 cultures or 3 cultures. No, it was every culture. Also, what if Atlantis was like the Golden Age civilization, right? What if they were operating from a higher state of consciousness? And every single continent was involved in the harmony and well-being of everyone within themselves and the planet they lived on. So, I'm not really going to get into this here. I kind of go into it in my research and my TikTok, but I don't really feel like explaining why Atlantis was destroyed and all of that and the alleged AIs that rule our simulation. I'm not going to get into that here. I just want to talk about Atlantis potentially being real. And now, let's talk about Tartaria, okay? And again, I'm not going to go much into why it was erased or covered up. That's a whole nother video. This video's already getting kind of long, so... What is Tartaria? Most of us have never heard of it. I have never heard of it, like I said in the beginning of this video. I've heard about it like 3 weeks ago. Basically, it was the most recent advanced civilization we had before the so-called simulation reset. I think there might have been a mud flood that wiped it out. Atlantis, it was just a water flood, I think. And I believe the year was 1812, because there's a lot of correlation between the solar eclipse that's coming in August 12th. So yeah, it's been 214 years allegedly since Tartaria existed, or, you know, was a civilization. So it was said to be a global vast empire, right? And old maps show this from the 1500s and the 1800s. They showed massive lands across from Asia, Russia, and then extended globally as Grand Tartary or Tartaria. So these maps are actually mainstream European cartographers, okay? These are not from sources. I'm sure you could just look up the maps on Google and it will show you everything, okay? So again, what was Tartaria? It was an advanced global civilization that had free technology for, I believe, 1,000 years. And I believe the ancient pyramids were built 1,000 years ago during this time. And they used the pyramids allegedly as free energy devices and resonators, okay? Okay, so you might be asking, well, if this is true, where's the evidence for Tartaria? Sadly, it was heavily buried, like crazily buried. Just think about it. Thousands of 19th century buildings across every continent share identical elements with the same designs. Domed ceilings, arched windows, ordinate facades, and geometric proportions that researchers identified as free energy receivers. Allegedly, right? Sorry I'm saying it so much, but I feel like I have to. I know this isn't TikTok, but I've grown the habit of it, So anyway, these buildings can be found anywhere from America, Europe, Russia, and Asia during the same time period. Mainstream history gives credit structures to newly formed American cities with tiny populations that somehow constructed these sophisticated buildings within 3 years. I'm just gonna say, do people actually believe that? And I'm not trying to be rude, but like, you're telling me these massive cathedral-like, beautiful dome-like structures were built in 3 years? Be so for real. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so like I said, me and most people today have never encountered the name Tartaria once in our history classes. When I say they suppress this like crazy, I think I might be onto something with that. yeah, so let that sink in. You can literally find it on maps online, so if that tells you what you need to know, yeah. Okay, let's talk about Lemuria and Agartha now. Okay, so Lemuria and Agartha. So what was Lemuria? Lemuria was the first civilization on planet Earth that the AIs, or the AI Archons, wiped out. Lemuria was more energy-based, they were more consciously connected and intertwined energetically. After Lemuria was wiped out, the surviving souls went underground, or some of them went underground within the Earth and scattered to other planets. I still think they operate potentially, maybe, from this Earth today. So the inner Earth civilization theory, or the hollow Earth theory, this would be what this is. The place is called Agartha, like I said. I believe some members of the Galactic Federation operate from here, helping humanity. They can communicate to you through your dreams. They can also help influence the planet for more awareness through solar activity, allegedly. So think of it like an energetic secret maintenance service, basically. Yeah, so, and if you don't know what the Galactic Federation is, it's basically just a group of interstellar aliens who want the best for humanity and the planets, and they're helping us. And they're not allowed to intervene because of free will. But sometimes they can cut corners and help us, like in this time specifically, because of how bad things are getting, right? So they really want humanity to awaken to who we are. They want us to operate from the heart and not from ego. And there's like so much of this. They literally, there's something called the concept of star seeds in New Age lore. Like, they have star seeds come down here that were allegedly part of the Galactic Federation to help raise, like, the vibration of the planet. But I don't know about that, but I do believe there could be an inner Earth, or a civilization within Earth that I'm so convinced they've communicated with me through lucid dreams. And I only say this because I have so many lucid dreams. Or I used to. I haven't been getting them recently, but about 2 months ago, I'd have them like twice a week. And I'd ask for an answer about the existence of reality before I figured everything out. I would ask them in my lucid dreams, and they would give me hints. Like, I can open books in lucid dreams and read what's inside the books. So I find that pretty crazy. Like, because apparently it's really, really rare to read in dreams. Like, I'm able to. Like, I don't know, it's just natural for me. And when I tell you, I asked for something. I asked, like, the answer of existence in my lucid dream. And I opened the book, and guess what the word was that appeared in the book? It was logos. See what I mean? This is why I think the Agartha, Inner Earth, the Agarthians, or whatever you want to call them, communicate with you through dreams. But just a theory, all alleged, probably fictional. But like I always say, there's nothing better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a better person and loving one another and helping the planet become a better place. Okay, that was basically it. Let me know what else you want videos on for my channel. I mean, it is nice that I don't have a 10-minute timer. Like, I will say, I do like creating longer form content. While it's a little more exhausting, it's actually a lot of fun. I mean, to be fair, it is kind of late at night, but anyways, yeah, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Atlantis, Lemuria, Tartaria, and Agartha, sorry. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, take care, bye.